All right, we rolling? Let's go. All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Bare Wit Me podcast. Thank you once again for tuning in. I'm pumped to have you guys here. Today's going to be a personal one. It's going to be a good one. We're going to get a little bit different. So today I kind of wanted to talk about alignment and consistency and what it is to kind of really chase and go after what it is that you want rather than seeking the approval of other people and outside sources. Because a lot of the times, too many people out here be chasing the validation of everybody else when in reality, the only one that matters is your own. And we need to start to, especially in this world today, this society, we need to start listening to that and realizing that the only opinion that matters and the most important one is our own. So we're gonna dive a bit into that, and even if it's not for like even if it's not what you think is the best right now, if you know it's serving your higher purpose and your higher goal, I mean, at the end of the day, it is what matters. So I've had a couple of conversations with a couple of people recently, and on two separate occasions, two different people from different spectrums talked about the only thing that matters is making your 8-year-old self happy and the 88-year-old self happy. Because when you make that little kid inside who wanted to be so strong and so cool and idolize superheroes, when you make him proud, and you can also make that 88-year-old wisdomatic version of yourself that's seen so much violence that he can finally smile with peace, then you're in true alignment. And I think that's what matters, and that's what we all need to be seeking to get into that alignment and find that center, so we can live and fulfill our lives to the fullest that we are supposed to live it, right? So I mean, let's talk about it. And as per usual, I'm gonna have to ask y'all, bear with me. All right, so let's dive into it. Let's kind of get onto the idea of not looking for the approval of other people and living into your higher purpose and your higher self, right? And a lot of the time, people get mistaken. They mistake the idea of consistency with motivation, and they think that motivation will give them consistency. And in reality, I think that your motivation, it'll come, it'll go. It's an emotion. We all know this by now. It's old news. Motivation is fake. It's good to have. It gets you going every once in a while, but it's not the root of everything. And I think consistency, when you get that and you can be consistent and disciplined in it, I think a tool that you can use to get that consistency is understanding and finding your alignment. And I think having that alignment is a little bit different. It's when your actions line up with your values. And when your actions line up with your values, everything you do revolves around that. And it revolves around doing things that resonate well with your core and your purpose, right? And people don't understand the idea of finding their purpose and why do I need to find my purpose? Why do I need to go and follow this and do that? Why can't I just get the approval of other people? Because it leaves you fucking empty. That's why. Nothing else needs to be said. It leaves you empty. When you seek the approval of others and you're just looking for a quick like or how many follows you can get, you're going to be empty. And you're always going to be searching for that next like, that next follow, that next anything. But when you start going within and start getting the approval of yourself, at the end of the day, that's the only person that's really going to make you happy. And when you can get to that and you realize what your alignment is and where you're going and what you want and how you want to do it, and you just go for it 10 toes down, no stop, relentless, let me tell you something. It's a beautiful thing. So like when I was in Fort McMurray, there were a couple of days because I went from being super committed and diligent to trying to go pro for football. And I was working out every day, getting up. Now, I wasn't living the most righteous lifestyle. Don't get it twisted. I wasn't like a good person. I was a hurting, angry young man. But I was trying to get signed and go to the league for football. At least the CFL, not the NFL. NFL is a dream that is stupid if you're Canadian. No offense. But I was trying to get signed. I was trying to go to the league. That was the dream. After a bunch of stuff happened, I realized I wanted to tick off some things on my list that I wanted to do. And the top thing was play a football game in front of a big crowd of people. And then once I hit that goal, I was like, yo, I want to play pro. So we shot for it. And after like waking up every morning, going training, doing everything I could to kind of devote my life to trying to play this sport and be the best I could be at it, while kind of running a football team, learning business that way, which it was a great intro to it. I did everything wrong, but it was a great intro to it. Moving to Fort McMurray when I was like finally shit hit the fan and it was like, I got to get the fuck out of here. And I dipped. Moving to Fort McMurray, there were days where I didn't feel like getting up because I was doing closes at the bar, then waking up and opening it, liquor counts, and then there was like COVID, the floods, losing my business, all of that shit. So doing restoration, which was fucking wild. Never will recommend that job to anybody. Even if you're a grinder, restoration is fucking tough. Like demolition, restoration, like it was hard. And doing all that shit that I hated, regardless if I hated it, I still showed up. Because I knew after I'd done some spiritual work and figuring out who I was and why I was hurting and why I was making all those wrong choices previously in my life, I knew where I wanted to be. I knew kind of how I needed to get there, the direction. But at the end of the day, the first thing I knew because I had that alignment, I had that focus on where I was going at the end, not what happened in between. I knew that I needed the tool, right? Now, a lot of people misunderstand and think money is the objective, but money is not the objective. It's like a side objective, but the point is money is the tool to the objective, and the objective that we all want, and if you say you don't want this, you're a liar, is freedom. At the end of the day, we all just want to be free. Rich people buy their time back. That's what they do. And then they do whatever the fuck they want. Right? We sell our time to make money and then we buy it back. That's what we do. And when I was doing that, I knew that I needed money to use this tool to get to the objective of freedom. And I still showed up every day to make dough. And throughout that time while I was doing it, I was reading this book called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And it talks, it's almost like the ministry of presence. It talks about being here now, in this present moment. Whatever happened in the past has already happened. It's gone. You can't get it back. And whatever's happened in the future is, you don't know if that's going to happen or how it's going to play out. You don't know. You know what I mean? So worrying about the future is pointless, and worrying about the past is pointless. The only thing you can worry about is this current second right now. Every second that passes, that second's gone. So all you can do is worry about that current split second that you are in right now. And if you have the mindset of doing that, I can know that in the future I want this, or I'm going to have this, and I'm going to go get this. But if I worry about what I am currently doing every split second right now to be able to get there, I'm not worrying about all the other shit that's happening. And you're able to stay real focused if you find that. And being able to be so aligned and understanding what you're shooting for and what you want to get is the most beautiful feeling, right? And I think that's why we need to be talking about this. And that's why we need to be shifting our minds to the idea of, okay, if my 8-year-old self needs to be happy, I need to go back first. So let's bring it back. For me, right, what I needed to do to kind of find that alignment. If you're looking to find out what you are, what your goal in life is, what your calling is, if you're like kind of lost in that section, because it seems like a lot of people, especially with seasons changing, all this, everybody kind of feels lost as to what their calling is, where their direction is, what they need to be doing. Everybody starts feeling this way. For me, what I had to do, and this took years, but everybody, it takes years. We're never done growing. We're never done learning about ourselves. But you go back and you meet your child, your inner child, yourself. Go back and talk to that kid who was 8 years old. Go back and talk to him. Sit down with yourself. Go back and talk about all the stuff. Think about all the stuff you loved. Write it down. Go look at your old journals, pictures, all the stupid shit you used to do that you kind of forgot about, right? And you need to have a conversation with that kid. And you need to tell him. And think about all the hopes and dreams and all the things that kid wanted. And you need to go back and you need to talk to him. And you need to say, like, hey, buddy, like, don't stress, old dude. I got you. Like, I'm going to take you through this. I got you. You feel me? And I started by doing that and kind of making that promise to myself that I was going to take care of myself. So when my younger self looked up at me and he was like, yo, I'm that guy. Like, that's who I've always wanted to be. Because that's like, fuck, I want to give that to myself, right? And then I also started to look at myself now, right, in this moment, and I said, shit, in 10 years from now, in 20 years from now, what am I going to look back and say? Am I going to be like doing the same shit that I'm doing currently? And this was at the time of like, fuck. Like, why didn't I just do that a couple of years ago? Why didn't I start this then? Why didn't I just buckle down and do it right the first time? So I started to shift and change and started to really say, okay, no, if I don't do this now, I'm just setting myself up later to say, fuck, why didn't I do it now? Right? So I started making sure when I said I was going to do something, I did it. And I didn't stop that one task until I got it done. Now that's checked off the list. Let's go get the next one. No matter how long it took. Be it paying off debt, being carless, be it dead broke because of COVID, losing my crib. Like, then I had to get rid of my car at one point. It was awful. But at the same time, I kept showing up and I kept ticking off one little thing at a time in the box. Because let me tell you something, when your time is right, when you're ready, yo, the universe is going to open that door and you're going to go. Just make sure when preparation meets opportunity, you're fucking prepared. So do what you have to do. Take those first steps. You're not going to have it. Everybody wants to jump to the end. Everybody wants what they want right now, right here, this second, myself included. And you have to check yourself. And you have to be in the present moment and check yourself and be like, yo, I'm here right now. This is where I'm at. What can I do to get myself to that next point? Right now. Okay, this is the action I'm going to take. Oh, I don't have time. Okay, perfect. You don't have time right now. So in order for you to have more time, you need to make more time. So get up earlier. If this is what you really want, wake up earlier and go get it. If it's not what you want, okay, cool. Then don't do it. But don't tell me that you want something and you need more time or you don't have enough time when all you have to do is wake up a little earlier. Okay, well, I can't wake up earlier. My schedule is packed. Perfect. So what can you do during the day to make it so you need less sleep? Okay, well, you can start eating better, fueling your body better. You know what I mean? Do things smarter, not harder. Preserve all the energy you can. And it starts with there. That's all free. So it don't cost nothing, and that's you not putting in enough effort. So then grow the fuck up and don't tell me that you can't do something if you can't simply just start by making more of an effort. Right? Let's say you want to lose 10 pounds. I'm not telling you to hit the gym and go do something crazy and get in there and bust your ass all the time or you're recovering from an injury. Okay, cool. So start by putting your shoes on every morning at a certain time, every day at the same time. Start by just putting on your shoes. Oof, that's enough. I'm done. Okay, then take them off. Go back, do whatever you are doing. Next, do that for a week. Next, put the shoes on and then take a couple of steps outside. Next, put the shoes on. Now walk down the street. Next, put the shoes on, get in your car, start the car. Okay, cool. Now you can put your shoes on, get in the car, drive to the gym. You don't even have to go in it. Just start the habit, start the routine. And if you can't even do that, okay, so start You have 2 Cokes a day, have 1 Coke. Don't even switch the diet, just have 1. There's all types of shit if you know exactly what you're doing and you're focusing on the moment right now. But everybody wants to hit these goals, and no matter what goal it is, you have to start from the bottom and you have to go through the steps to do it. Stop trying to skip the fucking work to get the goals that you want. Period. End of story. There's no secret juice. Stop trying to skip the fucking steps. And so, with that being said, find your alignment. Make that 8-year-old self, that 88-year-old self happy. So you can find your alignment, and you can start getting to where you want to be. When the motivation fades, and everything like that, then you're able to move to the next step. And when you have this alignment and you realize what you're doing and you're working towards it, now you have a focus of trying to make those 2 people happy and focusing on what you want. It gets a lot easier to stop looking for the approval for other people for what you're going to do. Right? Because approval is like an addiction. We're all approval addicts. But at the end of the day, it's empty. Like any other addiction, once you get that fix, once you get it, second you get it, you feel empty again. You need something else. You need a bigger hit. You need a bigger fix. And when you're an addict to anything, in the moment, you don't think you're addicted. At some point, you start to know, but in the moment when it's like, for example, I used to be terrible with gambling. I still love gambling, don't get it twisted. But it's like, oh, I'll put in $100. You play, $100. I'm only doing $100. And then in a moment you're like, I didn't win on that. Like, okay, what's one more 20? What's one more 20? What's one more 20? Next thing you know, you're $5,000-$6,000 down, and it's been an hour and a half max. And you're empty still. Because you went for that fix, which was a shortcut, with no intention behind your actions, nothing. Find your alignment, shoot for your goals where you can actually find what you're happy doing. So think about those hopes, those dreams that you've always wanted. Those are the purest thoughts. Those are the purest ones. When you were a child and you had all those ideas, those are the purest ones. Chase it. When you can make that inner child happy. Right? And I mean, it's like when I figured out what my purpose was and what I really wanted to do, and it was help people get in shape, life coaching, like all of that stuff, personal development coaching, all of it. When I figured that out and I quit at the bar and I left the bar, some people laughed. Legitimate, they laughed. They were like, what? Are you nuts? And then other people did support me. Some people doubted me and were like, you're going to do what? Like, there's no way you're going to be able to do this. What are you thinking? Stick with your job, pay your bills, get your money. And then what? Be another fucking statistic? Stop this. And guess what? My 8-year-old self, that kid wanted me to be strong. That kid wanted me to be jacked. That kid wanted me to be in the gym he looked up to heroes. I also kind of like the villains because they were wicked, but you know what I mean? I was making him proud when I did that. And I knew my inner peace was there. It was the beginning of when I really started healing, was when I got out the bar and I started doing my shit. And then I knew that my 80-year-old self would have been happy because he would have been like, good, you didn't fit the mold. You didn't do what you were supposed to do, or you didn't stick to a job because it was safe. You didn't fit the mold. You broke out that, and you said, fuck it, let's go tear it up. Let's do it the way I want to do it from now on. Right? And And I mean, at the end of the day, we're on this earth not to collect claps. We're here to answer our calling and to live this existence and experience what we're supposed to experience in this existence. So get out and do that. It's a beautiful thing. You have the gift, and you are the gift. Don't forget that. And while reading this book and going for my purpose and doing all this, I found comfort in the present moment and kind of learning from these experiences and getting better every day. And because I wasn't just learning from these experiences or failing, I was also building for the future. I was building for a stronger future. I was building to the moment to be where I am today, and I can truly be happy and at peace and be like, I can do this if I make $0. And I get it. There are a bunch of theories. Do what you do for, if you would do it for free. Nah, fuck that shit. There's a lot of stuff I do for free. But it's just, the point is, I enjoy doing this. I could just survive on this. But let's be realistic. We all need to make that dough. So don't take this the wrong way of like, oh, he doesn't need a penny to do whatever he does. No, I don't. You know what I mean. Fuck. And reading those two books, like reading those books during that time when I was working and right before I quit, The Power of Now and A New Earth, it really hammered home the idea of being in the present moment and how it's a sacred moment and how having access to that moment is a privilege that none of us even know that we have. Because when you tap into that and you're able to literally live in this present moment, right this split second right now, nothing else fucking matters. Nothing else actually matters. And when you get that mindset, you're like, okay, wow. Because it could be gone right in a split of a second, knock on wood. It could be gone. Trust me, I've been there twice. It could be gone. So it really hammered that home for me. But you're still also planting those seeds for the future. Now, I had a conversation with somebody the other day of like, we plant these seeds and we put all this out there. Now, we may not even see the harvest of it. But the point is, we could see the harvest of it. And you're living in your Ikigai, if you will, to see the harvest of it. And that's your passion. If that's your goal and that's what you're supposed to do, yes, we all have an end date. But that's the universe when we are done experiencing what we're supposed to experience it. But in order for us to do that, we need to understand what our alignment is and live through that. Regardless if it ends, we have to find that and live through it. So, at the end of the day, life isn't about being the loudest person in the room or collecting the most likes, like I said. It's about being able to stand tall on who you are and what you believe in. And living through that and living through your truth. I don't care what it is, and I don't care what other people think. Who cares? So if you're out there and you're sitting and you're giving a shit about what other people think and you're really worried about it, take a second and give yourself some fucking respect. Who's looking out for you? Who do you have your back? Who has your back? You need to have your own back and stand up for yourself. Buck up, buddy. Because if you ain't gonna have your own back, nobody else is gonna respect you enough to have your back. So, like, let's be real, man. And standing up for who you are, that's gonna make your 8-year-old self and your 88-year-old self happy. And you all know why we're using 8 and 88. Look at those numbers, look up the meaning of those numbers, and then you're going to realize it, and you're going to say, damn, like it gets deep. But do your research. Google it, 888, meaning of that number. And it makes that little kid who believed in heroes proud because you're his new hero. And it makes, like I said, that 88-year-old warrior who's done so much violence to be able to see peace, be able to look back and smile in that peace. Alignment is the approval, and it's the only approval you need. So if I'm leaving you with something today, it's get aligned. Get to know yourself. Do that self-work. I appreciate you for sitting in on this one. This was a real one for me. A little personal. We just wanted to shout out, That spirituality tip. One step at a time. Chin up, chest out. Let's keep building. You know what it is. Thank you for bearing with me.